Hi, this is Shruti Agrawal, co founder of CAGR Funds, and you are listening to me on the podcast Taking It Slow. I had a lot of fun chatting with Duju, and I have been following all of his podcasts so far, and they are extremely funny. Please do like, share, and subscribe with your friends and family in case you like the series.
Welcome to Taking It Slow, people. Yes, this is still a fun, chatty podcast. And no, we have not transformed into a personal investment gyan dene wala session. We talked a lot about cryptocurrency in detail in our last podcast. So we thought, why not take a look at the other side of the coin of the investment channel as well? Let's take a look at the traditional and sane method of investing your money. Crypto is absolutely bonkers, as we discussed last time around. So let's talk about some sane things. My guest today is a perfect person to explain to us the second side of the investment coin. She is the co-founder of CAGR Funds, which is one of India's fastest growing boutique personal finance companies, and it helps people like me understand what to do with the peanuts that we earn. What's great is she treats me like the mental 5-year-old I am, and I am very pleased to welcome on the Taking It Slow podcast Shruti. Hey Shruti, how are you?
Hi, Duju. I'm good. How are you?
As I just said, I am trying to graduate from a mental 5-year-old to a mental 6-year-old. So trying to be smart with money, I guess. So we discussed on the podcast in our last week a lot about investing our money safely, investing our money well. In case you haven't checked out our podcast on cryptocurrency, do check it out. We wanted to do a complete circle around on all the ways you can make your money grow. So the traditional wisdom tells us that there are a number of ways where we can invest money, be it SIPs, be it fixed deposits, savings में पड़े रहने दो, property खरीद लो, gold खरीद लो. तो I thought, who better than you to tell us about the saner version of investments, because you've been doing that with me for a very long time, and I thought you should do that to the rest of our audience as well. So शुरू करते हैं. Shruti, first of all, tell us a little about CAGR Funds, the company that you have co-founded. What does it do, and how are you making lives of people like me better who don't know jack shit about what to do with their money?
So basically, CAGR Funds, like you just introduced, and thanks for that brilliant introduction, is a boutique personal finance company, right? And we founded this, and I have two other partners with whom I did it. We are very good friends for the last 20 years, and we founded this in 2015. And at that point in time, ऐसा कुछ vision नहीं था about personal finance, right? So we also started our careers knowing jack shit about companies. And, like when we started in 2015, it was just about managing mutual funds for, people like you and me. So a lot of our colleagues, our friends,
Friends, yeah.
yeah, I mean, they were doing, some were investing, some were not investing, and all of them had some issues. So we thought, like, CFA kar liya hai, ab kuch to karna parega. So, like, we said, chalo yahi karte hain, let's start doing this for our friends and colleagues. And at that point in time in 2015, बहुत ज़्यादा ऐसे platforms नहीं थे to invest in mutual funds, right? So we thought कि हम startup बन जाएंगे and हम platform लेकर आएंगे and we'll make people invest seamlessly. So we did that and we launched our platform in 2016. And between 15 and 16, we were doing the traditional mutual fund business through the offline route, वो check submit करके sign करके जो होता था.
Yep.
And by then we had already onboarded, like 200, 250 clients, and we were talking to
Nice.
those clients. So, we realized that, and when we launched in 2016, there were so many other startups who had come with their platforms, and we realized that, like, there are enough number of platforms for someone to invest in mutual funds. So people like you and me won't really struggle कि यार कहाँ से mutual fund में invest करना है. So the struggle was more about किस में करना है, कितना
कौन से में
करना है
right.
या नहीं करना है,
Correct.
करने से क्या होगा, like, so those kind of questions, and we started feeling that there is a lot of gap in terms of understanding, right? And with experience, as on a year-on-year basis, we started to grow, and we started growing by referrals, and we still do. We realize that there are so many people who come with different kinds of problems, right? So someone would say that, I'm 24 right now, I am getting married in 2 years, and I want to fund my entire marriage. I don't want to take anything from my parents. How do I do that with my current set of money. Now, in an ideal personal finance world in India, someone would just say कि मैडम इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड में डाल दो, बहुत अच्छा रिटर्न आता है, right? But ideally, that's not the right solution for her because she needs that money in 2 years, right? So that's how we started feeling that there is a gap of being honest, transparent with the investor, channelizing the thoughts of the investor to develop an approach, right? Map your investments to the goals. And there were so many other problems that we started to solve in the personal finance space that we started to call ourselves as a personal finance company rather than a mutual funds distributor. And
Nice.
I think that's how we have evolved. And it's been 6 years now. And we have been catering to people, like all kinds of people, bulk of them being salaried individuals like you and me. And we are solving their problems, daily personal finance problems, giving them some control over their monetary life. So that's what we do on a day in and day out basis.
Nice. That actually sounds very comprehensive here. During your introduction to the company, you said बहुत सारे लोगों को पता नहीं होता है पैसे का क्या करना है, like salaried people like you and I, especially people like me, not as much as people like you. So मैं तो अपने आप को reasonably पढ़ा लिखा इंसान मानता हूँ, मतलब 2 डिग्रीज हैं, decent job है, but still I'm very very illiterate, if I want to put it that way, as far as understanding what to do with my money. I तो more often than not put the blame on our educational system काफी हद तक, कि हमको सिखाया नहीं जाता है important चीजें. हम लोग पहले भी 3-4 पॉडकास्ट पे इसके बारे में बात कर चुके हैं, that our education system is something that makes us employable to the outside world, not really enriches our education or learning. So what is your take on our educational policy, our educational background, educational system? Do we actually learn what to do with our money in our, मतलब मेरे जैसे पढ़े लिखे लोग?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Duju. We don't talk about savings in our education system, whether it is schools or even colleges. So, like 2 years back, when COVID was not there, and I was reaching out to universities in Delhi to take classes and design curriculums for them for teaching their graduates about investing and savings, because they were actually stepping out to earn for the very first time.
Yep.
But those universities came back and told me that, we don't want a personal finance session. We want you to tell our students equity research kaise karte hain. Because job interview mein wahi puchenge, right? So they did not want a personal finance session. And that was a very eye-opening fact for me. But apart from schools, I would say that even within our families, how many of us really talk about investing? I mean, at best, I have seen, and even for myself while growing up, we have spoken about FDs and, like maybe some other instruments.
Yep,
But most
yep.
of us have not spoken about investing or inflation or the fact that, over a 10, 15, 20-year period, we need to beat inflation. So it's not just about schooling or college, but I think in general, the way we are brought up, we don't talk about money a lot. Talking about salaries and how much are we making and how much are we investing is a very hush-hush kind of a
It is a taboo
conversation.
discussion, यार. It is a taboo topic. मैं इसे क्यों बताऊं, मैं इतना पैसा कमाता हूँ, ये मेरे से jealous होगा, ये सब nonsense.
Right. So even with friends, it's not like we really open up, right?
Yep.
And these are hindrances because we don't open up. It's a taboo topic. We don't talk about it, and hence we don't learn about it. So I think it's a very societal thing rather than just education. To blame education is not right. I mean, not that our parents have really, in a lot of families, parents haven't really thought in this direction, right? So I think that's a change that is gradually coming in now, and hopefully things will be better with our next generation.
Especially with people like you who are trying to educate people like me, I hope things do improve. अच्छा, you were saying कि आपने job शुरू किया 2012 में, 2015 में you started, you founded the company, you thought of founding the company. What led to that shift in thought process? कि बोर हो गए जॉब से, या was it a eureka moment कि हाँ अब मैं इतने clients को बिना पैसे के ही हेल्प कर रही हूँ, तो why not charge money for what I'm doing?
So I wasn't ever a very, I never had any entrepreneurial ambitions per se कि यार मुझे तो अपना कुछ करना है, and I was very happy in what I was doing at my job, and I was very happy with my role. But in 2015, when I started CAGR. It was more of a side hustle thing. So
Hmm.
I came out of the corporate world much later. And it was a side hustle thing because I was passionate about it. I used to do it on weekends, and I was talking to people on weekends. So I was doing a job, and in parallel I was setting up something for which I did not have a vision at that point in time. But then as it started to grow and become bigger, and people came back to me telling me that you went when you talk about personal finance, you look very, very passionate about it.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
you actually go back, spend time on it, and you read about it. So why don't you just start taking it full time? And that thought started coming back to me, that why not run this setup as a full time? Because in a 2 year span, when I was in the job and running this as a side hustle, I already had a clientele of my own. And
Yep.
I felt that, I needed to make a choice. And I thought that let me do this full time. Um, and the fact that you're really making difference to lives was a very, very fulfilling experience that I had. And I wanted to take that forward. And that's how I really came into this full time.
The thing that you just mentioned, you are actually making a difference to fulfilling lives. I can vouch for that, because in our conversations as well, when we have submitted our ambitions and goals, you have scolded us literally, क्या बकवास लिख रहे हो तुम, इससे तुम्हारा ये नहीं होगा, वो नहीं होगा. So you genuinely take a personal interest in the lives of clients, as you call them, or friends, I would like to call them.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah, I
can
mean, because
definitely
it
vouch
is
for
it
you.
is a very personal relationship, right? So
Hmm.
they're not really clients. You develop a very personal kind of an equation कि यार तुम्हारे life में क्या चल रहा है, what
Yep.
problems
Yep.
you are facing, and I mean, then that creates a very special kind of a bond. So friends is actually the way to put it.
In your clientele, I'm assuming it is a pretty wide clientele as of now. When you initially started talking to them, how many of them actually had absolutely no idea what to do with their money, or was it a
Yeah, someone who would have an idea wouldn't need my help, no? So
मतलब कुछ बेसिक लेवल पे तो पता होता है कि हाँ, यहाँ पे मैं अपना
हाँ.
कुछ पॉलिसीज की हुई है, और कुछ लोग
Hmm.
जैसे मेरे जैसे होते हैं कि बस हाँ, ये सेविंग्स अकाउंट है और क्या करना होता है पैसे से.
Yeah, it's been a very diversified kind of an experience. Like for a lot of people who are in their, say, mid 20s or late 20s, of course, they are starting afresh, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
I also have clients who are 27 and they say that, I think I'm very late. And I'm like, no, dude, you're not, right? So, but then I also have, late 30s. जिन्होंने कुछ नहीं किया है अभी तक for various
Hmm.
reasons. Maybe they were going through a personal challenge, or they invested everything in a single property and now they're not left with savings. I mean, various reasons. But yeah, bulk of them are really trying to start afresh or start from a very low base.
Hmm.
A lot of them also have done something, not really in terms of policies, but a lot of them are also avid investors, like whether it is mutual funds or stocks. They are avid investors, but they just don't have the time to manage
Hmm.
their portfolio. And in a lot of cases, they want a second opinion, that,
Hmm.
they realize that, okay, we have not made the best of decisions. So why not take us? It's like a doctor relationship. आपको पता है आपको बुखार हुआ है, but दिखा लो यार एक बार. And then you
Yep.
like
Yep.
the relationship and you like the engagement and you feel that always having a second opinion helps, because since we are doing this day in and day out, we still get the pulse of the industry much better than somebody who is in an IT job but takes keen interest into finance and runs his own portfolio, but still wants a second opinion because he does not have the time to manage it all. So it's a very wide kind of experience that I've had with people. But one thing that's been fairly common with, say, 70% of the client is linking behavior with investing. This does not happen at all. So a lot of clients who are very avid investors also would tend to think about investing from a returns point of view, or from a,
Hmm.
like, which are the best funds, and, am I
Rather than
investing in the
meeting
best
their
funds?
life goals in general.
Yeah, and also about understanding your own behavior pattern. Somebody who wants a very someone who has a very aspirational lifestyle is still not wrong, versus
Hmm.
someone who does not have that kind of an aspirational lifestyle. But to make things work for them is my job, right? So I feel that a lot of times the fact that behavior is a very integral part of how we manage our money is a fact that is not known or not ingrained very, like ingrained a lot when people
Fair.
start
Yeah. I understand.
making the investment. So that is something that's common, but otherwise it's a fairly diverse experience.
A number of people that you meet, a number of clients that you meet are 26, 27 years old who feel they're already too late in investing. What is the ideal age according to you when one should start investing? 5 years old, 6 years? मतलब कब शुरू करना चाहिए?
So, to take a benchmark, Warren Buffett started when he was 11. But I
Nice.
don't think we are all that, all of us are prodigies at that.
मैं अपने Tazos
So,
से invest करना शुरू करता हूँ.
right. So, I don't think there's a specific age, yaar. I mean, like, अगर आपको pocket money मिलती है और आपको pocket money spend नहीं करनी है, तो उसको भी आप invest कर सकते हो. Why not? And in our families, we have been taught about savings, right? So, I don't
Piggy
think there's
bank,
an age.
etc.
Piggy bank and how to make use of it. आपको खरीदना एक chocolate, आप अपने piggy bank से पैसे निकालो, right? Those are the kind of things that our parents have tried to teach us. But in terms of investing is a step ahead, a much larger step ahead than savings. I think as soon as you start earning, you should start investing, right? And I think and whatever age you do, whether you start earning at 19 or 29, doesn't matter. But as long as you have your own money, which you can deploy, you should start investing.
कैसे करें investing? What is the first step that I need to do before? So I have say 10 rupees with me. मुझे इसको कहीं पे invest करना है. मुझे सबसे पहले क्या करना है? मुझे कोई account बनाना पड़ेगा कहीं पे या?
So there are two parts to it, right? So one is the operational bit where आपको account बनाना है and KYC करनी है and document submit करना है. But the other part is just taking those decision कि कहाँ डालेंगे पैसे, right?
Account कहाँ बनाना है?
So account, you can, like you can create an account with your bank on any of the platforms. There's no dearth of any platform that's available, right? Depends on what instruments you are investing in. If you're only doing a banking instrument like an FD or RD or any other banking instrument, it can go through your net banking. If you are doing mutual funds, there are like hundreds of platforms for mutual funds, including your banking platform. Then there are people like us who have our own platform, and then there's MF Utility and BSE Star and CAMS and Carvi. Everybody has a platform.
बहुत मेरे
So,
सर के ऊपर से जा रहा है, थोड़ा लिमिट करो इसको. हाँ.
So कहीं भी platform, किसी भी platform से start हो सकता है. I don't think that is the concern. For a first time investor, the question that he really needs to answer is कि कहाँ पैसे डालने, right? And I feel that if somebody is really putting money for the first time, they should start with savings first and then move on to investing. तो आप पहले एक FD, RD इस तरह की चीजें करके देख लो, and then move on to investments. And within investment, the first thing to understand is how much risk you can really take. And to be able to understand that, you need to understand what is this risk that we talk about, right? So I'm not saying that इसके लिए कोई बहुत बड़ी चीज करनी पड़ती है. Just about you understanding कि ये जो मैं पैसे लगा रहा हूँ, ये कितना नीचे जाते हुए मैं देख सकता हूँ. How much can I afford? When do I need this money back? Do I need it in 1 year, 2 years, or I don't need this money for the next 10 years? Once you have this clarity in mind, I think it's easier for you to decide कि मैं FD कर दूं या PPF में डाल दूं या मैं stocks में डाल दूं या mutual funds में डाल दूं. So then it's an easier call to take. Rather, अभी मैं क्या देखती हूँ that in a lot of cases the decision is based on last 3 years में सबसे ज्यादा return किसमें आया, उसमें डाल दो. Right? That might work for some people and might not work for some people. So if someone is just starting to invest, I think just having a little bit idea about risk and the return equation really, really helps.
कैसे मैं डिटरमाइन करूं मेरा रिस्क एपेटाइट क्या है? मतलब इज इट सिंपली अ गट फील कि अगर मैं 10,000 रुपए लूज करना अफोर्ड कर सकता हूं तो ये मेरा रिस्क एपेटाइट है, और इज देयर अ slightly more complex calculation involved?
No, there's no complex calculation. I mean, of course, we have a questionnaire that we circulate with our clients. But despite that questionnaire, it is actually the conversation which gives us an idea कि आप कितना risk ले सकते हो. Because one thing that I've seen is that when markets are doing really well, right? Whatever market it is, equity market or a crypto market, everybody wants to invest. Why? Because everybody thinks that they can take the risk.
बहती गंगा में हाथ धोना है.
हाँ, right. But जब risk होगा, then probably the economy would be doing very bad. People would be losing jobs, and there would be a health crisis like we had last year. And at that point in time, people feel कि यार ये risk नहीं है, this is the end of the world. So let me just pull out my money, right? So feeling that I can take risk versus actually being able to take risk are two very different things.
Fair.
And ये बिहेवियर अगर आप अपना समझ पाते हो, एंड यू नो लाइक इट्स there's a very good book by Monica Hallan. It's called Let's Talk Money. And for any starting investor, I recommend that book. Someone who's reading that will know the answers on how to start investing. So I think that's the key takeaway from this conversation. वो book खरीद लो. I'm
Book
not
कर लो।
marketing her. हाँ, I'm not marketing her. It's a very easy read. But it's a great. I mean, बहुत ज़्यादा books हैं नहीं यार Indian context में. And that's one great book for very in written in very easy read terms. So I think that's a great start to begin investing.
Fair, makes sense. Now coming to choosing a good SIP or a good plan for me, what are the different parameters that I should keep in mind के अगर मुझे इस SIP में इन्वेस्ट करना है तो मैं कैसे पता करूं मुझे इस SIP में इन्वेस्ट करना है?
Yeah, see, this actually stems from the approach that you have taken. अगर आपने अपनी एक रिस्क प्रोफाइलिंग एक्सरसाइज कराई है जिसमें आपको पता है कि आप कितना रिस्क ले पा रहे हो, प्लस आपने एक अपनी गोल सेटिंग कर ली है कि मुझे इन गोल्स के लिए पैसे इन्वेस्ट करने हैं, सो यू हैव योर टाइम होराइजन इन प्लेस, एंड विद दिस यू डेवलप एन अंडरस्टैंडिंग मुझे पैसे कहाँ कहाँ डालने हैं, कितना सेफ रखना है, कितना रिस्क लेना है तो किस इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स में लेना है, what is your expectation of how the asset class will perform. So then what happens, then it's an easier decision to come down कि मुझे कौन से funds में invest करना है, right?
So where can I read or study more about the different types of options that I have?
I don't think there is any I mean Google करो तो बहुत सारे निकल जाएंगे म्यूचुअल फंड्स पे, तो there is like tons and tons of literature now available. So there are categories like large cap and large and mid cap and flexi cap, and I mean yeah,
क्या होते हैं कैटेगरी, अगर आप एक लाइन में बताओ तो?
बहुत सारी कैटेगरीज होते हैं एक्चुअली. सो जस्ट वेरी बेसिक वंस. लार्ज कैप इज बेसिकली लार्ज कैप म्यूचुअल फंड्स आर दोज व्हिच विल इन्वेस्ट इन लार्ज कैप स्टॉक्स, राइट? नाउ लार्ज कैप स्टॉक्स आर द टॉप 100 stocks by market capitalization. Right? Mid cap funds are those which will predominantly invest in the mid cap stocks, and they are 101 to 250 stocks, ranked stocks. And then comes the small cap, right? But then there are blended categories of funds जो थोड़ा large में करेंगे, थोड़ा mid में करेंगे, कुछ है कि उनका कोई mandate नहीं है, कुछ hybrid funds है, थोड़ा debt में करेंगे, थोड़ा equity में करेंगे. So all of these blended funds, again, I mean, they are a function of what's your risk appetite and time horizon and asset allocation. Right?
यार debt और equity पे आप बोलते तो ये क्या होता है debt और equity?
So debt equity are two ways where your money actually goes in the financial industry. ठीक है? So आप FD करते हो, that is a debt asset class. उसमें आप क्या कर रहे हो, आप पैसे बैंक को दे रहे हो, टेक्निकली आप लोन पे दे रहे हो बैंक को कि लो मैं आपको अपना पैसा दे रहा हूँ, आप इस पैसों को यूज करो, आप मुझे एक इंटरेस्ट दे देना इस पे, ठीक है? अब PPF इज अगेन अ डेट प्रोडक्ट, ठीक है? सो एनीथिंग वेयर यू आर लेंडिंग मनी टू गेट अ फिक्स्ड और अ लो वॉलेटिलिटी काइंड ऑफ अ रिटर्न इज अ डेट प्रोडक्ट और अ डेट एसेट क्लास इन्वेस्टमेंट. अब जैसे डेट म्यूचुअल फंड्स होते हैं, राइट? सो डेट म्यूचुअल फंड्स में आपको गारंटीड रेट ऑफ रिटर्न नहीं मिलता है, बट दोज म्यूचुअल फंड्स इन टर्न विल बी इन्वेस्टिंग इन डेट प्रोडक्ट्स, राइट? So their payout will be debt-like. So again, you will not get supernormal returns of 10%, 12%, 15% from those products. You will get low returns, but volatility कम रहेगी. आपको पता है risk कम है क्योंकि ultimately वो भी debt में ही invest कर रहे हैं, right? Equity is basically you taking ownership in a company or a set of companies. Got it. Right? So आपने ये podcast start किया है, and you one day you decide to turn this into a company and you invest some capital into it. So you become an equity owner, right? And you might come to me and say that I need more capital, so I can think कि यार मैं तुमको lend करूं या मैं तुम्हारी partner बन जाऊं. Got it? Now if
that is a conversation we will have like 6 months down the line, but okay, got it.
Yes. But so if I'm lending money to you, ideally my share in the profit is also limited. Actually I don't have a share in profits because you will tell me that if you're lending money to you मैं आपको इतना interest दूंगा,
दे रहा हूँ, हाँ, ठीक
है? But if I'm a partner, then I have a share in your profits as well as in your losses.
समझ गया. अभी आप बता रहे थे कि अगर सुपर नेचुरल रिटर्न्स आते हैं, which is like 10 to 12%, अभी आपके क्लाइंटेल के साथ आपका कुछ डिस्कशन होना शुरू हुआ है क्या कि मैं ये 10% के लिए इतनी माथापच्ची क्यों करूं when I can earn like 1000% in cryptocurrency? कुछ लोगों ने बोलना शुरू किया है क्या?
नहीं, आई डोंट थिंक ऐसे बोलना शुरू किया है. maybe they are nice to me. No, I mean, yeah, of course, there are inquiries about whether we should invest in crypto as a diversification strategy, right? अच्छे terms use करते हैं. तो
गैम्बलिंग नहीं बोलेंगे उसको.
gambling नहीं बोलेंगे, right? So yeah, I mean those conversations have happened, but I think that's a function of, again, I mean, आप क्यों invest करना चाहते हो? आप अगर invest कर रहे हो to use your money in probably 6-7 years, then you should have a view on whether crypto can give you returns in 6-7 years. अगर वो किसी भी asset class में, यार property हो, crypto हो, equity हो, you need to have a view on what will happen in next 5 years, next 10 years, next 15 years, next 20 years, right? So if crypto is a 20-25 year game and someone is willing to bet on that and put money away for 25 years and they don't get disturbed by the highs and lows of crypto, it's fine. You can go ahead. So it's a function of your risk appetite, your ability to understand what are you putting this money away for. But अगर किसी के पास कॉर्पस नहीं है घर खरीदने का, उनको 5-6 सालों में घर खरीदना है, तो वो नहीं कर सकते क्रिप्टो. यार पता नहीं 5-6 साल में पैसे कहाँ जाएंगे क्रिप्टो में, right?
I call myself a semi-enthusiast as far as crypto is concerned. I have invested money, of course, in crypto. It's been almost a year since I've been dabbling with the crypto market, and I've been studying about it for almost 2.5 years now. So I agree to an extent and I disagree to an extent. जो आपने बताया. As far as investing your money is concerned, you have to be very strong in terms of volatility of the market. It is a developing technology which is in very nascent stages right now. So there are going to be very high highs and very low lows, and within the span of like 2 months. So if you are in it for a get rich quick scheme, it is probably not the right place for you.
Yeah.
जहाँ पे मैं disagree करूंगा आपसे, you said maybe 20-25 years down the line it might give you great returns. The time period is not that long. So the time period I would put it to like 4 to 5 years at best. The rate at which the technology is developing, the rate at which blockchain is developing, the different iterations that are being adopted from the blockchain technology, I don't think we are too far ahead. मेरी last podcast पे Wazir X के AVP से बात हो रही थी. He was saying I see a horizon of like 2.5 years where this becomes like the next internet. He was being ambitious because he obviously has vested interests in it, but I would not put it beyond 5 to 6 years where it genuinely becomes a big as integral a part in our lives as internet is. So you see, Alaska ने अपने elections blockchain पे conduct कराने का try कर रहे हैं. So वहाँ उस लेवल तक आ गया है. एल सल्वाडोर ने, पैराग्वे ने ऑफिशियल करेंसी डिक्लेयर कर दिया है. सो द शिफ्ट हैज सॉर्ट ऑफ बिगन, बट यस, बहुत ही फर्म स्टेबल माइंड चाहिए to survive the highs and lows that will
maybe I mean, like we'll only get to know that with time. What is that asset cycle class with crypto, and I'm not a crypto expert, so I have the least bit of idea there. But of course, I mean, you need to have that risk appetite, like you said, right?
Yes.
And the only issue I have with people who are not willing to, like who say that I want a profit every year and going and investing in crypto,
वो नहीं होगा,
contradiction है,
नहीं होगा.
So that is where आपको समझने की जरूरत है कि last 1 year return पे आप उतना you don't start focusing so much, and वो FOMO doesn't creep in and all of those things. But if you understand the asset class, the best way to go about it is कि आप अगर उस technology को, उस asset class को समझते हो, you will be in a much better position to invest in it.
Yep.
And that is important with every asset class.
Completely agree. Just like every other asset class, it is very important to understand the nuts and bolts of that asset class. कि वो अच्छा कर रहा है तो क्यों कर रहा है, अगर उसमें dips आ रहे हैं तो क्यों आ रहे हैं. So most of my friends also जो थोड़ा लॉस भी लिया है उन लोगों ने कि अभी राइज कर रहा है तो राइज करेगा ही करेगा, डाल देते हैं पैसा. So they've invested here and now they're taking money out here.
And it has gone down, right?
Yeah. So उसके बाद फिर वो एक फोमो हो जाता है कि यार मेरा तो सारा पैसा डूब रहा है, अब मेरा 50,000 20,000 हो गया है, अब मैं इसको जीरो नहीं हूं तो मैं उसको वहां से निकाल लूं. तो that is where they end up
this is a journey that equity has also seen, right? And exactly ऐसा ही experience equity के साथ भी हुआ है लोगों का. So maybe the volatility is not that sharp, but it has happened. The same behavioral pattern we have seen, right? So yeah, that's true.
No, it is not as safe a bet as equity, debt, SIPs, but it is going to develop into an equally good investment class, maybe say 2 to 3 years down the line, because it is on that path, and after it stabilizes a little, अभी तो Elon Musk एक tweet डालता है और पूरी दुनिया ऊपर से नीचे हो जाती है. So it has not become into that stable instrument right now, but probably in 2 to 3 years time it will become that stable instrument, and maybe 5 years down the line हम लोग शायद क्रिप्टो में एक्सचेंज कर रहे होंगे अपना सैलरीज वगैरह.
Hopefully.
It is not out of the realms of possibility.
Yeah. True.
To summarize all the discussions so far, both the asset classes, be it the traditional asset class, be it cryptocurrency, they have different roles to play in our lives right now. They serve different purposes, and before investing into anything, read about the asset class that you're investing in, understand and learn more about the asset class that you're investing in. And as I always tell my friends about crypto as well, don't invest your bread money into anything. Invest money that you can spare according to your risk appetite, as Shruti also mentioned over and over again. It is about the risk appetite that you have. So that's about it for this episode. Shruti, thank you for taking so much time out and again explaining everything to me like a 5-year-old. You do that really well.
Thank
I
you
had
so much.
great time chatting with you.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun too, and it was great chatting up with you. And thank you for inviting me to your podcast. It was a lovely experience.